Starting to the bottom right of the map, we have one of the younger players of Team StarTale.
StarTale, Pet.
He's like the team pet.
Team mascot. Not the best CVC player these days, but it is a best of one, so we might see him take it against his opponent. Both of them decide to not go for an early pull. To the top left, we have his opponent starting for Soul.
Soul, Hiva.
Also known as Alvin Chipmunk.
Yeah, there he is. And
that's why.
Yeah. He's one of 3 legendary chipmunks. Now, Hiva actually has a reputation for being aggressive, all-in, non-stop aggression. But like you said, we talked about this a little bit earlier when we were looking at the lineups. He's a player who's actually changed it up quite a bit because of, you know, just because he was so predictable, and now he actually becomes unpredictable again as a result. And we have a pool first here for Pet. Hiva, on the other end, is the one who plays the slightly riskier build with the fast hatch, which is, if you're Hiva, a smart choice.
You know, like, Hiva doesn't really remind me of him, but the story of being like very aggressive and then starting to switch it up always reminds me of like how Maru started out.
Yeah.
Back when we had the first run in the GSL in Code A back then, Maru was known on ladder as a player who would always cheese you. He was like known as one of the biggest cheeses ever that would go into double barracks play, and that was kind of what he was notorious for.
Yeah, he always used his ID too. He never used like a barcode, so you could always tell it was him.
And then when he started to play in the individual league, suddenly he switched it so completely. He started to play the long macro games, and he just had this massive rise going straight into Code S and everything. Not right away, but like he eventually ended up in Code S and being one of the youngest players that we had there. So it was always quite impressive to see that. With Hiva, it's not quite the same. Hiva was much more experienced than Maru was back then. He's also older. But like every single time you talk about a player who starts out being a little bit cheesy in the matchup and then switching it up, always making the opponents guess what exactly he's going to do, reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah. Well, really fast gas here for Pet, or rather for Hiva. Oh, okay, I had them backwards. Hiva was the one who actually did not go hatchery first. Hiva is the one who's playing like Hiva and getting a fast gas and a later hatchery. Part of my screen's cut off today, so I couldn't see that, but now I've confirmed.
Huh?
Yeah, my screen's a little bit weird today. I'm not sure exactly what mode it's in, but maybe you can fix it. I thought about pressing it, but I was scared, so I didn't do it. I think it's the last one.
I think I just turned the screen off.
Well, I'll figure it out.
Just press all the buttons, it's fine.
I'll press one of the buttons and it'll work.
You have to confirm the choice. I just don't know how.
Well, I don't know. Maybe our producer tells me which mode, like CVBS1 or...
Oh, that's why. You have a different one that I have.
Yeah, it's an input issue.
For me, it's that button. Okay.
Well, now...
Or I didn't realize you have a different screen that I do. Look at that.
Now it's just going crazy. I'm not even touching it. I'm just going to look at your screen. My screen's too scary.
Just press the rest of the buttons, it's going to be fine. Okay, Wolf's screen has a mind of his own right now. It just jumps across like channels and like potential input methods. Wolf is like currently actually trying... Actually, like right now, there's more stuff going on Wolf's screen than on mine, even though I'm the one who's watching the game. But talking about the StarCraft match itself, we have currently, of course, both of them on the same base. You can see the same harvest account for both of them. A third base already coming up for Pet here, sorry, for Hiva here, taking that a little bit earlier than you would expect. And there's not a whole lot going on, like not really the aggressive play that a lot of people expected here. So in this scenario, not quite sure what exactly is. There we go.
There comes the Baneling Nest, yeah.
But yeah, both of them just going up with a wall, or at least Pet is going up with a wall at the front, and he's kind of skipping the speed for the circling, so he's the one who's gonna... Oh, nice last second puts in...
Hiva is really trying to dupe him here, I think, because he's actually taken... he's taken a bit of aggression. He shows the Lings, he forces the wall, and actually back at home he's getting his Roach Warren up, and he's taking a third base. I think the third base is scouted. Yeah, he did see the third base now. So now that he's seen the third base, he knows, okay, this is actually not aggression coming out. I can move my Queen's forward, starts bringing a creep forward. He's making his own Lings for the counterattack to actually try to kill the third base of Hiva there, and he's actually hidden those very well. So right now, actually, Pet is the one who has more information here. And he's actually bringing the Queens even to chase those Lings away.
Yeah, this is one of those games where actually, like, you know, if you have the third base already coming up, the other player has to do something about it. And Pat goes into his speed on his own. He delayed that a little bit earlier.
He's making 20 more Zerglings.
He wants
He's
to
all
go
in
for
with Lings here, basically. I mean,
he needs to take down the third base, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
I think he might actually just go for the kill. I mean, he needs to get the third base at least, but I think he
will.
could.
He's at 30 harvesters. You're actually right. Like, he has only 30 harvesters. He's just going for the massive aggression right now. Oh, and he caught all of those Zerglings of Haiva, and that's bad. The +1 attack upgrade is not done just yet. If he can bust through here, Haiva might find himself in a really bad spot. Those Banelings are so important right now.
Yep, here we go.
The ramp, if he can get up that ramp somehow, if he can break that down. Banelings moving in, another one detonating, but he cannot get the ramp yet. He wants to get the third base at least.
Yeah, he can get the third base at least here. That would be decent for him. He wants to trap these roaches, but really nice micro here by Haiva hugging the side. He doesn't actually get away, though.
Yeah, really good surround here with those Zerglings. The 1-1 upgrade's not done just yet. Here come those Banelings.
Beautiful splits against the Banelings.
Yeah, and Haiva holds. Haiva holds. He is 8 harvests ahead of his opponent, but he is going to lose that third base.
And you know, it's actually possible that he could try to transition here, but can he get the hatch? Oh my god, he might save it. No, not quite. There's no transfuse, and the rest of the Zerglings definitely going to finish it there.
Yeah, but at this point, Head is falling behind. He's going for the double upgrades as well, and he's trying to transition into roaches. The main question is, did he do enough damage? And I do not think that really was the case. He killed a couple of harvesters, but he is still very much behind in the work account. 44 against 29 at this point in favor of Haiva. And the Soul player just looks dominating here, even though he lost his third base. He has the 1-1 upgrades now for his roaches. The 1-1 is not done for Pet just yet, which means that the roach is just going to two-shot one of the Lings.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Haiva is utilizing right now.
Exactly. He comes up here to poke a little bit, and Transfuse is going down on that Spine Collar, saving him a little bit of time. Blair is just so late here.
Yeah, Leia is late as well. He wanted to be so aggressive, and that's why he sacrificed tech and everything else, and he is just going to be punished for it.
I'm trying every single input on my screen, one at a time. I eventually get it. I don't know, there's only like 3 left.
Well, there's also only a few units left for Pet as Haiva is making his way into that base.
He
wants to
actually
clench out the victory.
I think he might be able to do it, but you know the Lings coming from behind, they can't get the surface area they want.
Yeah, but the Queens are now gone, and those roaches are in a really good spot. This is exactly what Haiva wanted. He's going to lose them eventually, but he's going to...
He's just trading so well here.
He's still very much far ahead in the harvester count. He has that third base coming up. The upgrades are going to be the same very soon.
The third base is really the most crucial thing. If you just look at numbers on the screen, it's like, well, they're both even in supply, and Haiva's up 7 workers, and the army supply is basically dead even. But he has the better tech, and he has that third base being remade, and he has map control, so he's always going to be able to prevent Pet from taking a third. But Pet stabilized a little bit here.
To be fair, at this point, Pet has an advantage in armor. He has the 1-1 upgrades where Haiva only has the +1 attack, so that's a bit of an edge that he definitely has. But we already have the +2 attack upgrade started for Haiva and the +1 armor upgrade. The one thing that I really like about Pet is that he's going for the double upgrades immediately. He's not wasting any time here, and that will, in the long run, give him a bit of an edge over his opponent. He's really trying to fight his way back here.
Yeah, and if he can actually, if he can hold on to that third base, he ain't be able to stabilize. It would be like the craziest stabilization. I mean, he was basically super on, didn't even do very much damage to Haiva. And actually, the place he's in right now in this game is looking okay. You know, he's not in a good place, but he's better than I thought he would be after that attack.
If he would have not been able to take down that third base, he would have lost that game immediately. As it is, he is struggling a bit, but the upgrade advantage definitely gives him the edge that he needs to stop attacks. He also gets his own third base, but he's very much behind in economy, and that is something that can just snowball completely out of control, especially since Haiva sees exactly what's happening here. He saw that there's a base, he saw the timing for the base, and he's just moving out, and well, both of these armies passing each other, but I feel that with the bigger one for Haiva here, and think, oh no, he's actually going back, he's not going to go for a
Yeah. Actually, this is going to get a little bit weird. He's going to go for a run by here, splits
nice
goes for the Queen Snipe.
Goes for the Queen Snipe, goes straight for that main base. Another Queen is down.
I like how he splits his roaches, some of them to detect the drones, some of them to just toy with the other roaches.
I just don't think that he's really doing enough damage for this. I think he lost a lot more than he thought he would.
You know, killing the Queens though,
but he only killed, like, there's still 2 there.
Yeah, well,
I'm not quite sure.
Actually, that was the units. That was units lost. I think that we saw on the screen for just a second, not units.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he did lose all of his queens. So he's not going to have as much of a good follow-up as quickly without the larva, but what he already has right now is coming down. It's coming down hard here at the third base.
He just didn't trade very well, and now he's suddenly up against 100 army supply with only 54. And this third base is so exposed. There should be no problem for Ivar to take it down. That will win him the game. So Pet is really struggling. He's trying to do what he can, trying to get the army supply up once again. But with all those Roaches now going down on that third base, he can't hold that without the transfuse, and there's no team around to do that. Yeah. Even with the transfuse, it wouldn't have been enough. He just needs the army, and the army isn't there.
No, it's no, yeah.
The +2/+2 is not completed.
No contest here. He's actually able to snipe the evolution chambers if he wants to start poking, or even the Roach Warren is kind of exposed here.
Second armor upgrade is now done, but we have the attack upgrade for Hiva also completed. He's still ahead. There's another base attempt, but immediately spotted. Hiva sees it right away.
Yeah, he has an Overlord there.
And he's building, oh god, he's building proxy edges right now. Oh, wow.
You know what would be really funny is he built like a proxy spire on his opponent's creep. That's what I'd like to see. Why doesn't anybody ever do that? That's like the more funny way to manner your opponent. Like put like a infestation put down or something.
No. He gets the proxy hatch and then he goes for the proxy high.
That would be, you know, that would be pretty intense. I don't know if the game could go that long, but that would.
It's like, okay, either you leave or we'll have my hive tech right in front of your base.
It's just, I mean, it's just so funny, the concept to me of like putting a spire down. That's like saying, like, I am so ahead in this game.
If this was Warcraft, you would actually just go for an Necropolis and you would go and upgrade that thing, and then at some point it starts attacking and you take down your opponent. Build the Nexus and go for the Nexus cannon there. Hold an overcharge right away.
It's basically just, I mean, this game is it's so hard for him to actually attack. I mean, he can't easily attack. Now he goes for it. Now he has an overwhelming number, and he's just like, all right, I'm tired of waiting.
Here we go. Those hatches will be done in a second. He should start the upgrade. He should actually start to upgrade it once it's done. But I think Pet is most likely going to leave before that. I mean, the army supply is overwhelming. 130 versus 52. He's dancing, taking the shots. And
there's the GG.
Like, all right, I got the message.
So, really intense first game. Especially for me having to look on your screen, but it was all okay. Your screen looks fine.
I feel bad actually right now messing your screen up. I thought you had the exact same that I do, and I know by now which button to press. So I didn't realize that you have a different monitor than I do.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be fixed, I'm sure, in our next break. But
yeah, we have a break coming up now, and well, as expected, like Pat lost the game, but they put up a fight there. But Hiva was just better. So far, the team match is kind of going as expected. The first match is for StarTale, the other one maybe a little bit closer, but Hiva takes it. So we have a 2-1 situation with our Protoss versus Protoss coming up next.
Yeah, Protoss versus Protoss is going to be our next match, and this is what we're talking about. These third and fourth wins are the really crucial ones, and Seoul has gotten the first one. They've gotten the first one they need, but they have another mirror matchup. Protoss versus Protoss is the next one, and that's the one where it can get a little bit iffy.
Yeah, Trap versus Panic is going to be the next match. It's one of those games that Seoul should win, but Trap had a couple of games this season where he didn't look too great.
Yeah, he certainly did. But he has some. He's actually played, I think, a few Protoss versus Protoss this season and looked good in those. So
the only thing that threw me off a little bit was when he played Protoss versus Zerg. That is usually his best matchup, where he crushes opponents like left and right. And every time he came out against the Zerg, it didn't really look all that good. And in most of the matches, he actually lost against Zerg. So that was quite surprising.
Yeah.
That's something that I didn't really expect. Even against weaker opponents, he lost those games. But he is still the one who's the favorite going into the next series. And if he takes it, then of course the series is going to be tight, and we will have a 2-2 between the two teams.
Yeah, so that's what they're hoping for. And then we can go into those final matches, you know, the 5th, 6th, and eventually 7th match.
Well, we have Curious going up in another Zerg versus Zerg later on as well. So he's going up against Sanaya, and Sanaya was always a little bit shaky when he was playing in the booth. Nerf's definitely a big issue for him. But now, as already mentioned before, we're going into Protoss versus Protoss before we get anything else started here. Panic is already ready, sitting there in the booth and waiting for his match to start.
Don't panic when you see his hair and look at his ID. It's only natural. It's only natural if you feel that way, but don't panic. It's definitely a little bit crazy.
And, well, he's up, of course, against the Trap, which we should see in the booth in just a second.
Yeah, Trap, actually really, really good run in Code S this season. Not able to go as far as his teammate, but still somebody who's super dangerous. And one of the highest caliber players in this room, you know, along with Life and Bomb, of course.
Yeah, so that's going to be the next game, but before we head into the 4th set of the day, we will have another 5-minute break. We're going to fix Wolf Monitors in the meantime. And yeah, as soon as we are back, we have our next match here at the GSTL. StarTale versus Seoul. See you guys in the news.